Well, I thought it was a good weekend, obviously, for outcomes. I thought we played after the first 10 minutes of the first period. I thought we played really well on Friday. Um, some adversity hit, um, and sometimes it doesn't go your way.
Yeah.
I thought Saturday we started the game off really well and got some an early lead, which gets your opposing team to chase the game a little bit. And thought Trotter was incredible in that. And sometimes when things don't look so good the night before, things turn around and uh, you get rewarded for some play maybe earlier in the year. So all in all, good week.
Where does that stand with the 5-year rule and all of that? Is there any wiggle room there or anything being discussed?
Well, I don't think there's anything that has been approved or discussed at the level that it needs to be discussed at. Um, I think it's been thrown around a little bit, but in at this point, nothing concrete.
Okay. Do you think this is a team that could and should play in the NCAA tournament? If they qualify.
I don't know the answer to that. I think our focus is just trying to go day by day, week by week. Listen, we've known the situation, so this isn't anything that we talk about. This is anything that we think about because everybody that's in that locker room understands that we can play for a league championship and a playoff championship, and that's all it goes, or as far as it goes. So, um, whether we want to talk about it at the end of the year or not, then that's something we can do. But it's really at a level that is beyond the coaches and the players. This will have to be at a higher level, and so we'll let those people deal with that.
Augustana is where you were just a couple of years ago, kind of figuring things out on the fly.
Yeah.
First question is
Are you saying that we figured it out already, or?
I don't think you figured it out.
Okay. Because it doesn't feel like that sometimes.
But first question is your trip there going to include an arena tour to get some? Are you still collecting ideas, or are you pretty well set?
No, I think we're pretty well set on what we're doing with our arena. But listen, Rabs has done a great job. He's a really good young hockey mind that understands not only the game, but I think understands the recruiting, the big picture in terms of college hockey as a whole and what's best for college hockey. I would say that in terms of the young guys, he leads the way in that, and he's going to have to be a leader in college hockey here in the next probably decade, because there's quite a few of the coaches that are probably going to be retiring, and you're going to need some of those young guys to lead the way. College hockey's come a long way in the last 40 years. And I think Rabs is the one guy that, in my opinion, can connect where we were 35 years ago, 40 years ago to where we are today and keep it going. So I've been impressed with him. He's been he and I have talked quite a bit over the last year and a half. So I'm looking forward to seeing their building and playing their team. They're a good hockey team, obviously well coached. They've got some veterans on their team. And so to me, it'll bring out the best in us, and we've got to be playing our best hockey here at this time of the year anyway. So it comes at a good time.
You mentioned Trotter with what Jake has done numbers wise, especially, how good does it seem to see Trotter kind of step up and say, hey, this is a goalie competition. I'm part of this.
Well, we talked about it at the beginning of the year, right? For us at this level, I think it's still an important piece that I think a lot of us miss sometimes, including myself. And we're in the business of developing these student athletes to be the best version of themselves so that they can go on and play elite hockey at the college level or elite hockey wherever they want to go after they graduate. And so when Sibes and Trotz decided to play really well and compete, it makes them better every day. And the competition, I think, is there's no substitute when there's somebody else competing for that spot. whether you're a defenseman, whether you're a forward, whether you're a goaltender. So, Saturday, Saib's not feeling well. Trotz gets the call at 3 o'clock, and Trotz does a great job. And we had no question that he would go in and do that. And if it was reversed, it'd be the same way. And that's an important piece of our culture and our team and our program.
Of all the problems you have as a Division I hockey coach, how nice a problem is having two goalies to have to choose from?
Well, again, I think the game has changed. The game is not where you can, even at the NHL level, you see tandems going now. And I've always been a big believer you have to have two guys going because you never know who's going to get hot or, whatever sickness, whatever happens. So, if you're fortunate enough to have two guys, then I think you got to develop them both and give them opportunities to play because you never know.
A couple of weeks ago, we were talking a lot about injuries and just all of the, guys that were forced to step into bigger roles, newer roles. What have you seen 3 weeks on? Who's kind of pleasantly surprised you among the guys who have stepped up to fill those holes?
Well, the adversity that this team's gone through is I would say unique. To play two defensemen at forward now consistent for the last 3 weeks has been, a little bit of a challenge, but guys like Fish and Sofo and Pichowski have done a decent job of collecting a lot of minutes and being disruptive. But I would say collectively as a whole, our team has kind of stepped up. Everybody's chipping in here and there. Whether it was our D core dropping down to 6 because we don't have anybody else available to play D, whether we played 11 forwards against Northern. Everybody's there's no excuses. This is what we have, and we're going to go forward. And so I've been really impressed with the maturity of our team because you can, even after Friday night, there's been teams that you lose a heartbreaker in overtime. You go on the road the next night, and you might feel sorry for yourself. And that would be a natural feeling for a human being to feel down. And we didn't do that. So what I'm impressed with is just the maturity level and the willingness to sacrifice for each other and the team, the team game. I think that's an important piece.
Cooper Gay having a breakout year. You notice anything different from this year compared to last year with him?
I think Cooper has just been an extension of what he did last year. Where we break down the game, maybe he wasn't getting the ice time or the looks that he's getting this year. He's really kind of taken a step in terms of doing what he did last year at a different level now, a little bit more responsible with the puck, without the puck. And to me, he's just continuing to get better.
And then how about you talked about Augustana just a little bit. Any thoughts on the specific makeup of Augustana as they are right now?
Well, I think they had a different approach to how they built their team. They had a year off to recruit, and so that was a different than us. And they used all their scholarships in their team. So he spread them out a little bit so they can graduate some guys. And you see that in their lineup. They have some graduate students and some seniors that'll probably move on, and he'll bring in his fresh blood next year. So it's a little bit different than our build. But at the same time, it's a build, and it's, you go through some ups and downs, and you got to figure, the league out. You got to work on your travel. It's everything is comfort level and what you need to do to perform at a high level. Now they've played some really good teams and played some really good games and have won some big games. So they're probably a little bit ahead of where we were our first year, but totally different makeup.
And then one last question from Ryan Stieg. Lots of complaints about officiating. Luke Strand mentioned how he didn't know what was what anymore in his post-game press conference. True for you as well?
I think it's hard in today's game to be an official. I think things happen quick. I think they happen fast. I I think they mean well. I think they try to do the best they can. Sometimes they get it right. Sometimes they get it wrong. And I think that's probably, if you ask the referee about how the coaching is in college hockey today, they probably give you the same answer.
Last question for me. We talked earlier in the year about net protection. Any of your players using net protection, and now with USA Hockey mandating it, do you see that being a mandate in the college level at some point as well?
Yeah, I haven't had any conversations with the people that are in charge of that, but we do have a few guys wearing that. I think cut resistance socks, whatever the guys wear under their equipment, neck guards, I think need to probably be on the forefront of what we discuss. You've seen recently in the NHL, a couple of guys get cut. Fantilli comes to mind right off the bat here. I think somebody else got cut last week, but these are real issues that we have to address. Again, just like our game has evolved on the ice, the equipment has evolved as well. And these blades are, as sharp as I've ever seen them. I mean, I sharpened my skates once last year. I still haven't sharpened them, Now I don't skate as fast as these guys, but that tells you how sharp they are. And so I think all those things need to be discussed at our level, and probably need to be, something needs to be done about that.